Part 112. The Sweetness of the Seventies. Author, Chi Sing Cao. Chapter 1113. 1111. He Tian felt dumbfounded. They were all acquaintances. They wanted to give her face, but it didn't matter. No one was short of money, and they were doing charity, so it didn't matter if they donated more. Tang Pingan wrote a number on the paper. So the woman next to Tang Pingan directly held up a placard and made an offer, saying, 150,000. Upon hearing this offer, many people looked at the woman who made the offer. The middle-aged woman is Tang Pingan's agent, and she doesn't understand why Tang Pingan must win this gold medal today. In fact, that gold medal is not valuable at all, it is not pure gold. Even if it is pure gold, it is not worth so much money. Tang Pingan was very surprised to see He Tian in such a scene. He found that he missed the woman in front of him more than he thought. He couldn't disturb her, so he wanted to have something sweet. It was the most appropriate time to auction the medals now. He could collect Teacher He's medals openly, so he was bound to win them. Over the years, he has invested some money in stocks and real estate from his royalties. Huo Yingji glanced at Tang Pingan and knew what this man had in mind. He gave Li Xian a wink and asked him to add money. 200,000. Li Xian held up the sign and looked at Tang Pingan proudly. Tang Pingan wanted to add another 50,000 yuan, but the female agent beside him stopped raising her sign and said, Pingan, you are very sensible. I don't know why you are like this, but it has not been easy for you to make this money over the years. Tang Pingan smiled bitterly. Yes, he made money, but not so much that he didn't care. Xie Weining raised her sign and said, 250,000. Seeing that the price was already quite high, Li Xian was just about to add 10,000 when he heard the eldest son of the Li family, Li Zhen, from the row in front, holding up a sign and saying, 300,000. 300,000. The people below were talking a lot, and there were other celebrities who wanted to bid, but seeing Li Zhen shouting, it was hard to compete with the eldest son of the Li family. Jiao Li's red eyes almost popped out of her head. 300,000. A gold medal can be sold for 300,000 yuan. Although the money cannot be in my own hands, it is so prestigious, especially in front of a celebrity like Xiang Zhang. While envious, Jiao Lihong is even more jealous. So far, she has not won a gold medal. Not a single piece. It's all He Tian's fault. If it weren't for He Tian, her silver medal would have been replaced by a gold medal. Gold medal? Jiao Lihong's heart bleeds just thinking about it. No more, she wanted to take some action. Without action, she could never come forward. Huo Yingji glanced at Li Zhen. He was a vindictive person and had a good relationship with his eldest brother Huo Yingjun. He probably saw the high price paid for this relationship. Oh my God, 300,000, is there anyone else bidding? 300,000 once, 300,000 twice, 300,000 three times. This medal belongs to Mr. Li Zhen. Wang Mingquan exclaimed, he really didn't expect this medal to be of such great value. As long as it doesn't fall into the hands of people with ulterior motives like Tang Pingan, everything else doesn't matter. Thank you Mr. Li for your support of charity. He Tian thanked him, then put the gold medal in the box and handed it to Li Zhen. It's an honor, I'm very happy. Li Zhen was very respectful. Although he usually had many romantic affairs, he didn't dare to be disrespectful at all when looking at He Tian. The Li family is a celebrity in Xiangjiang. After Xiangjiang returns, if you want to become a celebrity in Huaxia, you have to work hard. The Huo family started out in business differently from them. It was after meritorious service, they were powerful, and the family was full of high-ranking officials. In China, having money is always better than having power. Not to mention that He Tian's husband is a top materials expert, but He Tianatian's father-in-law is a senior official in Su province. The Li family has a lot of investments in Su province, and the rate of return is very high. There is also the Huo family, they are all talented people, they cannot be offended. Even if He Tiantian was more beautiful than the Nine Heavens fairy, Li Zhen didn't dare to think about it. As the future successor of the Li family, this can still be understood clearly. The subsequent auctions went smoothly. During the entire charity dinner, a total of 4 million was auctioned for the treatment of childhood diseases in Xiangjiang. Afterwards, after the auction, it's dinner. This time, the food was buffet style. The athletes formed a group of their own, chatting and laughing together. He Tiantian brought Sci-fi 11 Rong and others over to say hello to everyone. Although you didn't spend a penny, I still thank my cousin for the support, He Tiantian saw Li Xian and said jokingly. The Snake King became even more handsome. Dressed in a white tunic suit, the Snake King looked like a tree. Li Xian smiled and said, haha, you know it, it's just to cheer, you can't eat or drink. When He Tiantian heard this, she glared at Li Xian, twisted the Snake King's arm, and said, you will die if you say something nice. You won't die, you will go crazy. Li Xian raised his eyebrows and said, looking at Huo Yingzhe not far away, shrugged and ran away. If he didn't leave, Huo Yingzhe would probably have to come over. He Tiantian turned around and saw Huo Yingzhe, smiling silently. Tang Pingan was drinking in the corner, his eyes unconsciously falling in the direction of He Tiantian. Xie Weining came over and said with a smile, Pingan, your respected teacher, he is here, why don't you say hello? Tang Pingan held the red wine, shook it gently, and said, I know teacher, he has always been very good, that's all. Haha, are all literary people so literary? Xie Weining asked back, well, I often correspond with teacher He, and we often talk about you. Although you are no longer her student, she really cares about you. Seeing Xie Weining say this, if Tang Pingan insisted on not saying hello, he would be a bit ungrateful and unkind in the eyes of others. Tang Pingan and Xie Weining came together, and He Tiantian saw them and was surprised. Tang, congratulations on your great achievement. I have read all the books you sent. They are very exciting. He Tiantian praised, keep up the good work and create more achievements in the future. Xie Weining covered her mouth and laughed, saying, you are worthy of being a teacher. When you see your students, you start to speak like a teacher. Haha, it's really a bit like that. He Tiantian also laughed. Tang Pingan was a little absent-minded, but then he said, teacher, he is the best teacher I have ever met, and I will always be your student. This is said to others, but also to myself. Haha, it's an honor. He Tiantian smiled happily, feeling that her students were all over the world. When you go to Yanjing, I'll treat you to a meal. I'll definitely visit you if I have a chance. Tang Pingan said, teacher He, if you are free, can I treat you to a meal? He Tiantian thought for a moment and said, haha, you don't have to treat me specially. Isn't there an overseas premiere of Tai Chi Grandmaster tomorrow? When it's over, we can go to dinner together. Okay. Tang Pingan nodded, let's go together tomorrow. The Sweetness of the 70s. Author, Chi Xing Cao. Chapter 1114. 1112. Huo Yingzhe stood aside, feeling very uncomfortable. On such an occasion, He Tiantian should be holding his arm and walking among celebrities, instead of being alone. It was very depressing to think about the humming rules of the institute, and he couldn't participate. If he were in China, Huo Yingzhe could try to stay with He Tiantian. He Tiantian likes such a wonderful life, and Huo Yingzhe will make every effort to ensure her safety and make her life more colorful. People come over from time to time to take photos, sign autographs and take photos with the athletes. Athletes will also go to celebrities to take photos and sign autographs, and the atmosphere is very good. He Tiantian was hungry and came over to have something to eat. She was sitting only 1 meter away from Huo Yingzhe. Brother Yingzhe, are you hungry? He Tian came here specially. He couldn't patronize others and neglected to kiss her husband. Huo Yingzhe stood up straight and whispered, I'm not hungry. I'm already full from the vinegar. Haha, He Tian smiled, don't be so stingy. Humph, Huo Yingzhe said arrogantly, I'll go to your room tonight. When He Tian heard this, the fork in her hand almost fell to the ground. Although she knew that Huo Yingzhe came over at night just to talk about Su Wei and concentrated sulfuric acid, she still couldn't help but think wrong. She would never admit that there was a problem with her thinking. Yes, there was no problem at all. I was still a little hungry, but now I can't eat anymore. If you don't like eating, I'll bring you delicious food tonight, Huo Yingzhe said softly. The food here looks good, but it doesn't necessarily taste good. He Tianatian's eyes lit up and she nodded, okay, I'll wait for you. I want to say a few more words. Jiao Lihong and Cai Fanfang are here. They sat opposite He Tian. He Tian was stunned for a moment, but said nothing and continued eating dessert. Cai Fanfang said leisurely while drinking a drink, oh, a gold medal is 300,000 Hong Kong dollars. Teacher He, you have so many medals, you can sell them for a lot of money in the future. Just know that it will not be pure. Yes, Teacher He, you are so awesome, Jiao Lihong said. So many men unconsciously looked at He Tian with admiration in their eyes. When they saw it, they were filled with envy and hatred. He Tian swallowed the matcha cake in her mouth, wiped her mouth with a tissue and said, it's just acquaintances supporting each other. It's for charity. The gold medal is a symbol of honor and is not valuable. What is valuable is the efforts of the athletes and honor for the country. Haha, Jiao Li's red-skinned smile said, Teacher He speaks so nicely. That's right, Teacher He, we will learn from you in the future, Cai Fanfang said. 3 little girls Xie Fei, Yu Jingjing and 11 Rong have made such great progress, thanks to Teacher He. Lihong, in the future we should learn from Teacher He. When He Tian heard this, her teeth were almost sore. However, the two people across from each other are indeed unorthodox in their behavior and actions, and they need to learn from her. So, He Tian said seriously, you should really learn from me. Even if you have a little temper, you should see what the occasion is. After He Tian finished speaking, he stood up and left. Looking at He Tianatian's background, Jiao Lihong became furious and said, just that charming look, pretending to be a big-tailed wolf in front of us, what the hell? She's just an old woman. Regardless of family background, grades, or appearance, Jiao Lihong could not find any shortcomings to attack He Tian, so age became He Tianatian's only shortcoming. Old woman. That hateful old woman. Jiao Lihong scolded her with this sentence, but He Tian didn't even bother to reply. He Tian is already older, and what the little girl said is true. Cai Fanfang smiled and said, I am proud of myself. It seems that we have to work hard after we go back, otherwise there will be nothing for us in next year's Olympics. That's right, Jiao Lihong said with deep meaning, looking at He Tian not far away. For the sake of the gold medal, she cannot sit still and wait for death. Countless practices have proven that as long as Tian is there, the gold medal has nothing to do with her. But Jiao Lihong didn't want to think about it. There were some projects that He Tian didn't apply for. She was the only one who applied for them, and she didn't get the gold medal either. Some people always exaggerate their own achievements and underestimate the achievements of others. Cai Fanfang smiled, thinking the same thing as Jiao Lihong, one less competitor is the next. Xie Fei over there just got the autograph and saw He Tian coming from the direction of Jiao Lihong. She walked over and asked in a low voice, Teacher He, did Jiao Lihong say something mean again? Haha, He Tian smiled, how do you know? There's no need to guess. Just look at her expression. Even from such a distance, I can tell you it's our CFE, I said. Her results are good, but they are compared with other people, not you. Hey, forget it, let's not talk about them, it will affect my mood, he Tian said. Are your signatures coming soon? It's time to arrive. I like Chow Yun-fat and got an autographed photo, but there is no Zhao Yazi CFE, I said. I am content with what I have. I am also satisfied. Maybe there will be another chance in the future. It's good if you think so, he Tian said. Treat it with a normal attitude and add your own efforts, your ideals and goals will be realized step by step. Caught off guard, he Tian gave CFE a bowl of chicken soup. He Tian felt that she was older and had more social experience than them. Since they had a good relationship, he Tian would always want to talk to them. She hoped that they could listen and avoid taking detours. Well, teacher, he is right, CFE, a beautiful girl who is 1.76 meters tall, actually drank very sweetly and nutritiously, and she has indeed made great progress. It's not just about swimming skills, but also some principles of life. The dinner was very successful, but it deepened the communication and raised funds for disabled children. When they returned to the hotel, it was already 10:30 in the evening. If it were usual, everyone would have rested, but now everyone was very excited and talked about their own experiences. It was rare to relax, and Zhu's Hitao didn't stop them. He just told them to rest early and went back to his room. He still had to write a report, not as relaxed as the team members thought. CFE, I knew that he Tian didn't care about these things. After washing up, she took the autograph to talk to 11 Rong Rong and Yu Jingjing. Kui Ying and Wei Yuan were resting next door. At this time, Huo Yingji came. He Tian locked the door, and Huo Yingji's appearance changed to her own. Thank you for the reward. Thank you so much. Asterisk carrot. Carrot asterisk, hee. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Sweetness of the 70s. Author, Chi Sing Cao. Chapter 1115. 1113. But this is a hotel, and teammates in the same room may come back at any time. He Tian, Huo Yingji can't be willful. After a while, the two separated. I'm hungry, he Tian said. What delicious food did you bring me? It's all what you like to eat. Huo Yingji smiled and took out 2 boxes from the bag on the side. Inside were Tianation's favorite mousse cake and a Chinese dim sum wife cake. He Tian liked it very much, washed her hands, poured water, then took a piece, took a bite, handed it to Huo Yingji, and gave him a piece. Huo Yingji took it and said while eating, eat slowly, and I'll tell you about the situation outside. We have found out that Meipo is a head-dressing master from Thailand. Now she has accepted Su Weiwei as her disciple. We wanted to catch them before, but Meipo found out in advance and escaped, Huo Yingji said, a little disappointed with Huashan. He Tian swallowed the cake in her mouth and said, everyone ran away. That Meipo could only take one person, so she took Su Weiwei away, and Su Kenyuan stayed in Xiangjiang. Huo Yingji said, so far, Meipo and Su Weiwei were the main subjects of the previous actions. Although they escaped, I left a mark on that Meipo, and I can find them quickly. But before that, I must ensure your safety in Xiangjiang. Are you afraid of the person behind the person who threw the acid? He Tian asked, is that person dead or alive? Are there any clues? Yes, we have found the person named Abin who is in contact with Xiaosan Qiang. Huo Yingji said, Huashan has already gone to investigate. At the same time, when we were watching the video, we discovered that a mother and son appeared at the same time as Abin. In the picture, the distance is not far or close, about 6 or 7 seats. Are you suspicious of that woman? He Tian asked, maybe it's a coincidence. How can there be so many coincidences in the world? Huo Yingzhi said, after you finish eating, I will go to meet up with Huashan. I think I can get some information today. He Tian sighed and said, hey, you have a bad constitution. No, it's because they don't understand your kindness. Huo Yingzhi said seriously, it's not your fault, so don't put pressure on yourself. As long as you are happy, I will take care of the rest. Hearing this, He Tian hugged Huo Yingzhi's arm happily and said, my husband is so kind. Thumbs up for my husband. Oh, why is the door locked? Sci-fi Fei's curious voice came from outside. He Tian still wanted to have sex with Huo Yingzhi, so she heard Sci-fi Fei's voice. I'm going back, Huo Yingzhi confessed, kissed He Tian on the forehead, and then disappeared. Seeing Huo Yingzhi leaving, He Tian hurriedly opened the door. Teacher He, why did you lock the door? Sci-fi Fei asked, a little confused. My back was itchy just now. I scratched it. I was afraid that someone would come in suddenly, so I locked the door, took off my clothes and scratched the itch. He Tian explained that although this reason was far-fetched, it made sense. Sci-fi Fei suddenly realized, so that's it? Oh, why do you have so many snacks here? Kui Ying sent it? Are you hungry? You can have some, He Tian asked. She couldn't finish eating so much. Teacher He, you're so kind. I'm so happy to be here today. There are so many good things, but I'm too embarrassed to eat them, Sci-fi Fei said, taking a piece of wife cake and taking a bite. Oh my, this tastes good, not as good as Sanfan Kiao. The difference. He Tian also thought it was good. When she went back, she asked someone to buy more and take them back to Master Tang in Sanfan Kiao to see if they could study it. Wife cake is a traditional Chinese snack, and every chef makes it tastes different. This shop in Xiangjiang tastes very good, almost the best wife cake she has ever tasted. Had snacks and drank tea. Sci-fi Fei asked, Teacher He, can we go to the Hong Kong premiere of the movie you mentioned on our flight tomorrow night? He Tian listened and said, of course, tomorrow morning we will organize shopping. If you don't go, I will take you to participate. Okay, I'll go. Sci-fi Fei was very excited. 11 wrong, Yu Jing and the others just said in their room that they were going shopping to buy things for their families, so I guess they can't go. Ask them tomorrow morning. If they don't go, I will take you there, He Tian said. After participating, we can go back. Because Huo Yingzhi brought He Tian a snack of love, He Tian was very happy tonight. In addition, she met many friends at the banquet and had a great time chatting. It can be said that He Tian was very happy this evening. Huo Yingzhi came out of He Tian's place and went to find Huashan. Huashan was a little excited when he saw Huo Yingzhi and said, Boss, there is really something wrong with this Zhao Dingxianghui. Oh, Huo Yingzhi was surprised. Tell me, what did you find? Zhao Gang is Zhao Dingxianghui's mistress, Huashan said, please keep this matter secret. I found out through some secret techniques. It seems that Zhao Dingxianghui's son is Zhao Gang's son. This Zhao Gang is seriously Zhao Gang. Ding Xianghui's husband was a distant relative of a grandma. It can be said that these two people conspired to kill her husband and seize the Zhao family's property. Is this woman related to the Abayao we investigated today? Huo Yingzhi asked. After all, Abayao was the biggest clue they found today. He, Huashan smiled, this Abayao is one of Zhao Gang's younger brothers. He is very handsome and secretly has an affair with Zhao Dingxianghui. Zhao Dingxianghui is over 30, you know. Ahem, Huo Yingzhi looked a little unnatural. Did he need to understand this? Seeing Huo Yingzhi's embarrassment, Huashan quickly added, and we also found out that Abayao's work was related to Zhao Dingxianghui. After all, 3 times, they were in the same frame every time. Abayao is just a native. The locals have nothing to do with the Huo family and Tian. It is correct that Zhao Gang had found a broker and hired a killer before and after Tianatian's accident. So now we only need to read their memories. All the answers are available. The scope is narrowed, and the remaining things are no big deal. So Huo Yingzhe went to find Zhao Gang first. As the eldest son, Zhao Gang naturally lives in a very luxurious place. The room is large and the furnishings inside are also very grand. Huashan and Huo Yingzhe looked at each other and saw the embarrassment in each other's eyes. Zhao Gang is an old man. Huo Yingzhe winked at Huashan and asked him to deal with it. Huashan has now reached the second level of cultivation, and it is easy to stun two people. The Sweetness of the Seventies. Author, Chi Xing Cao. Chapter 1116. 1114. Huo Yingzhe walked to the window and performed a spell to read the memory in Zhao Gang's mind. The reason why Zhao Gang found a broker was really to assassinate He Tiantian. The Huo family has no grudge against Zhao Gang and He Tiantian. It can be said that they don't know each other. The reason why this happened was because of Zhao Ding Xianghui's request. Ben went to Huashan to read the memory, and it was also because Zhao Ding Xianghui asked him to do it. Who is this Zhao Ding Xianghui? Why do you hold such grudge against He Tiantian? Okay, let's go, Huo Yingzhe said coldly, and the truth was immediately revealed. What about these two? Huashan asked. Zhao Gang must die. Huo Yingzhe didn't look back and said, this person will disappear from the world in half a month. Although he is not the mastermind, he is also an accomplice and must die. Yes, Huashan said. Since Huo Yingzhe has taken action, he no longer has to worry about clearing their traces. Huo Yingzhe, Huashan comes to the mountainside villa where Zhao Ding Xianghui lives. With a wave of his hand, the sheets wrapped around their bodies. Huo Yingzhe immediately read Zhao Ding Xianghui's memory. He wanted to know the truth so much that he didn't want to delay for a moment. In Yanjing, although there were many people protecting He Tiantian and his family, Huo Yingzhe had been worried before he found the mastermind. On the contrary, He Tiantian had a big heart. As time went by, he would forget his previous fear and panic. When Zhao Ding Xianghui's memory appeared under Huo Yingzhe's observation, Huo Yingzhe was shocked. Oh my god! It's really her. Although he and He Tiantian had speculated before, among all the people, the one who was most likely to do this and had the courage to kill was Zhao Ding Xianghui. This fugitive who once killed someone in Hujia village is Lu Lingli. This woman is also amazing, she actually came all the way to Guangxi. Because Lu Lingli was wanted nationwide, she couldn't stay in Guangzhou any longer, so she smuggled herself to Xiangjiang. Lu Lingli worked as a servant and a waiter. In the end, she felt dissatisfied and felt that those jobs were too tiring and made little money, so she became a young lady. Some women use this method to make money to buy clothes and bags, but Lu Lingli used the money to go to South Korea for plastic surgery. She came back transformed and became a good woman, and through Zhao Gang, she obtained the household registration of a local Hong Kong girl, Ding Xianghui, after her death. What happened after that was naturally very bloody. Zhao Gang asked Ding Xianghui to seduce his clan brother, so Ding Xianghui married his clan brother after becoming pregnant with his child. Since Zhao Ding Xianghui settled down, she has been thinking about how to take revenge on He Tiantian. In Lu Lingli's heart, He Tiantian was the culprit of her tragedy. In fact, He Tiantian is very innocent. If Zhou Yuanyuan hadn't taken advantage of Lu Linggang, if Lu Linggang hadn't wanted to get benefits from Zhou Yuanyuan, if Lu Linggang hadn't had evil intentions towards He Tiantian, how could He Tiantian have dealt with her? It's all her own fault, don't blame anyone else. It's just that there are very few people in the world who can realize their own mistakes, and they only resent others. Huo Yingzhe had already gotten the information he wanted, and left with a gloomy face. Huashan did not dare to read it again. After all, it was related to the privacy of He Tiantian and Huo Yingzhe. If they want him to know, they will tell him, if they don't want her to know, then it's better for him to do his duty. Huashan dealt with it better, restored everything to its original state, and left. Huo Yingji couldn't wait to tell He Tian the truth, so he came to He Tian's room in the dark. Setting up a barrier, Sci-fi fell into a sweet sleep. Even if there was thunder outside, it could not wake her up. Huo Yingji patted He Tian's arm gently and said, Tian, wake up. Hearing the familiar voice, He Tian drowsily dragged Huo Yingji to sleep on the bed. What are you doing up late at night? Tian, go back to sleep later. I have found out who is the mastermind, Huo Yingji whispered in He Tian's ear, hoping that He Tian would wake up soon and tell her the truth. When He Tian heard this, she thought it was a dream and asked, who is it? Zhao Dingxianghui is Lu Lingli. We had guessed it before, but we thought it was impossible at the time, Huo Yingji said softly. After this woman escaped, she came. Huo Yingji told He Tian the truth he read today. The more He Tian listened, the more awake she became. She couldn't believe it and stretched out her hand to pinch Huo Yingji's waist. Hiss. Huo Yingji inhaled hissingly in pain, making He Tian sure that this was not a dream. Is it really Lu Lingli? He Tian asked uncertainly. I also watched the video, and she looks different. Lu Lingli is not as beautiful as Zhao Dingxianghui. She used the money she earned from working as a lady for 2 years to go to South Korea for plastic surgery, Huo Yingji said. Lu Lingli was the mastermind behind everything. He Tian was silent for a long time. After Lu Lingli embarked on the road of murder, she was destined to embark on a path of no return in her life. If this person continued to hide, or stopped coming to take revenge on her, maybe He Tian wouldn't find her whereabouts. From this point of view, everything is doomed. Cause and effect cycle, good and evil are rewarded. Thinking about his past life, Lu Lingli didn't do anything harmful to nature. No, I heard that 2 educated youths in Hujiakan hanged themselves. At that time, some people suspected that Lu Lingli was responsible, but there was no evidence, so they were let go. What happened in the past life has passed, and the so-called truth cannot be found. But in this life, Lu Lingli did kill someone, was a murderer, and was the mastermind behind her assassination. So she must die. As long as Lu Lingli is here and there is a rich lady from Xiangjiang, it will not be a bomb, but a cruise missile. When we leave Xiangjiang, you can solve the future troubles, He Tian said, not leaving any troubles behind. Well, that's what I plan to do, Huo Yingji said. Huashan has been investigating during this period. If we let them pass away now, someone will doubt us, so after we leave, I will set up a bureau, let them kill each other. This Lu Lingli has 2 concubines, and as long as they formulate some small strategies, they can cause death. By then, no one will doubt them. All ashes return to ashes, and dust returns to dust. After He Tian returns to Yanjing, Huo Yingji wants to find Granny Ma and Su Wei to solve this problem for the Zhou family. The Sweetness of the 70s. Author, Qi Xing Cao. Chapter 1117. 1115. Originally, someone from a family like the Zhao family could participate in the charity gala. Out of instinctive fear of He Tian, Zhao Dingxianghui did not go, but asked her assistant to go and donated a lot of money. Just because she doesn't go doesn't mean she doesn't know the situation. Just because of He Tian, she had to avoid He Tian on her familiar territory, and she felt very depressed. Only by sinking into hope can Zhao Dingxianghui forget the previous unhappiness, depression, and even fear. It's just that Zhao Gang is old and doesn't like her anymore. He likes to hang out with those young models. But it doesn't matter. She, Zhao Dingxianghui, also doesn't like Zhao Gang's old fat guy. A Ben came into her life like this. He said he loved her. Hum, the devil knows. Anyway, she has money, she can enjoy all this, otherwise why would she need money? As for Zhao Gang, she will not let him go after this incident is over. How many losses and hardships I suffered at the hands of Zhao Gang back then were settled one by one. This is Zhao Dingxianghui, this is Lu Lingli. If she doesn't remember the good things about others, she will only remember the bad things others did to her. However, when she was lost in joy, she didn't know that she had been exposed. Her biggest secret has been exposed to Huo Yingzhe and Hua Shan. Zhao Dingxianghui felt refreshed when she woke up in the morning. Haha, it's great that death tells no tales. She can make trouble again. Turning on the TV, a martial arts movie from the mainland was being broadcast live. Zhao Dingxianghui is concerned. After all, she also has industries related to the entertainment industry. Just when they saw a handsome man holding He Tianatian's arm and passing by the red carpet, many reporters pressed the shutter frantically. He Tiantian is survived by Sci-fi Fei, 11 Rong, and Yu Jingjing. He Tiantian, who smiled so beautifully, was very dazzling in Zhao Dingxianghui's eyes. How could such a woman get so much? This time, the woman's face was not ruined, which made Zhao Dingxianghui very angry. It's just that she didn't know in advance that He Tiantian would participate in such an event, and she didn't prepare in advance, otherwise today would be a good opportunity. However, the days are long, let's wait and see. Just like the Tibetan Mastiff she raised in captivity, she will tame it little by little and return with revenge. Let's talk about He Tiantian taking 3 friends to participate in the event. She originally wanted to change them into formal clothes, but because they couldn't get it at the moment, they wore sportswear and appeared on the red carpet youthfully. However, He Tiantian carefully applied light makeup on them, and they looked very beautiful. I just took advantage of the swimming team's communication opportunity to help promote the new movie. After that, there were movies and banquets, which opened the eyes of Sci-fi Fei and others. In the evening, Sci-fi Fei and others followed Zhu's Hitao on the plane back to Yanjing. He Tiantian has something to do and plans to leave later. He Tiantian was protected by many people, and Zhu's Hitao was not worried about her safety. He gave an explanation and left. Everyone has gained something from this visit to Xiangjiang, and I am looking forward to sharing it with everyone when I go back. Let's talk about He Tiantian, Huo Yingzhe, Kui Ying, and Huashan sitting in the large sea view room, discussing what to do next. You go back, Huashan said, I'll stay and deal with the aftermath. Can you handle it, He Tiantian asked, or let Yingzhe stay and help you? Huashan smiled and said, it was because it was difficult to check before. Now that we have found it, the next things will be easy to do. I will do this, so you don't have to worry. As for Huo Yingzhe, he should go find Granny Ma and Su Weiwei, and he probably doesn't have the energy to stay. That's okay, He Tiantian nodded, then I'll leave tomorrow. I bought all the gifts for my family. There's no need to stay. By the way, Kui Ying, how about you stay with Huashan? No need, I'm here by your side. If you stay with Huashan any longer, there may be something wrong, Kui Ying said. There is no need to stay. Anyway, Huashan can return to the mainland immediately after handling the matters here. In Xiangjiang, they spent too much time and energy, and now it can finally be completed. Well, you can make arrangements, He Tiantian nodded, and then the 4 of them drank tea and talked about Lu Lingli and Zhao Dingxianghui's affairs in Xiangjiang. I have to say, this woman is really cruel. In the evening, Huo Yingzhe and He Tiantian stayed in the presidential suite, facing the sea, and had their own fun. Early the next morning, Huo Yingzhe escorted He Tiantian back to Yanjing. When he arrived in Yanjing, Huo Yingzhe did not go home, but went directly to the southwest to look for traces of Granny Ma. There is still his clone at home, so Huo Yingzhe is not worried about revealing his secret. At the same time, Huo Yingzhe followed He Tiantian invisible, so the bodyguards and plainclothes couldn't find him at all. Let's talk about Granny Ma and Su Waiwei smuggling into the mainland. Because they didn't have ID cards, they couldn't go to crowded places and could only go to the mountains and forests. In Mapo's heart, the mountains and forests are always safer than the cities. In the mountains and forests, they won't go hungry, they can find things that are helpful for their cultivation, and they can avoid the strange sight of the police and people. Popo, why are we here? Su Waiwei asked carefully while wiping her sweat. Along the way, she saw Popo easily kill those jackals, tigers, and leopards, as well as those disgusting snakes and spiders. As Granny Ma walked away, she replied calmly, Waiwei, our identities have been exposed, and the Huo family has chased you to your home. If I don't take you to escape, you will be arrested by them. Ah, Su Waiwei was stunned, oh my god. Granny Ma, what should I do now? Where is my mommy? Granny Map looked at Su Waiwei lovingly and said, those people are not extremely evil people. They will not hurt your mother. At most, your mother will not be free. But if we stay, there will be no life. In their eyes, he is a dangerous person. Su Waiwei was relieved to hear that her mother would not die. Mother Ma, where are we going to escape to? Su Waiwei asked, will those people catch up? Granny Mappa smiled and said, escape to the mountains and forests after I hand over all my skills to you, you can go out. Well, thank you Granny Ma, I will study hard Su Waiwei said solemnly, helping Granny Ma walk deep into the forest. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Sweetness of the 70s. Author, Chi Sing Cao. Chapter 1118. 1116. The southwestern border is lush with vegetation, and there are countless snakes, insects, rats, and ants. While walking, Su Waiwei ate the food that Granny Ma had prepared in a special way. These foods were made from snakes, insects, rats, and ants. It was a little nauseating at first, but gradually I started to feel that it tasted pretty good and quite delicious. In the process of eating these things, Su Waiwei's body also gradually changed, and her natal goo became much larger, turning into thin lines and spreading all over her body. Finally reaching the depths of the mountain, where there were few people around, they found a cave to live in. Under the guidance of Granny Ma, Su Waiwei can now catch snakes, insects, rats, and ants and make delicious delicacies. In the evening, Granny Ma was practicing. However, Granny Mappa suddenly felt a breath that was not her own, and immediately opened her eyes and realized the seriousness of the matter. She was restricted by someone, and no matter where she went, that person knew where she was. In this case, those people will soon be unable to catch up. If I haven't caught up now, I guess something is tangled up in Xiangjiang. Su Waiwei, who was sleeping, was suddenly pulled by Granny Ma's arm. Mother Ma, what's wrong? Su Waiwei was surprised, is someone catching up? Granny Ma didn't say anything. She tried her hands on her arms again and breathed a sigh of relief. Su Waiwei didn't have any. In this way, at least Su Waiwei's life can be saved. Granny Ma handed a black package to Su Waiwei and said, Waiwei, I have been banned by someone else. No matter where I go, that person will find me. If you are with me, you will definitely be caught. This is the inheritance of our master. You can leave alone and find a safe place to hide and practice well. When Su Waiwei heard this, she was so frightened that she could not speak. Oh my god, Su Waiwei looked pale, Master, I'm scared alone. Then do you want to live, or do you want to fall into the hands of the enemy? Granny Map asked, if you follow me, you will definitely be caught, because you can't get rid of the restrictions on your body. If you follow me, you will also be caught. After the previous you've been getting started for a while, and maybe your progress will be slower if you're not with me, but you'll grow slowly. Su Wai burst into tears and said, Master, what will you do when I leave? If you fall into the hands of those people, they will kill you. Granny Map held Yu Wei's hand and said, Wei, if your mother hadn't saved me, I would have died a long time ago and would not have lived peacefully until now. Now that you are in danger, just risk your life and get old. Come on, I will protect you. Su Wei was puzzled, but she still did as Granny Ma said. When Su Wei sat down, Granny Ma sat in front of Su Wei and said, keep your eyes open and watch. If you can in the future, you can pass on the secret skills of our master. Su Wei nodded. Granny Ma's eyes suddenly bulged, as if she had gathered all the energy in her body. She took out a knife and cut a big gash on the index finger of her right hand, and then opened a button on Su Wei's middle finger of her right hand. A lot of bright red liquid instantly flowed out from her white finger. Blood. A lot of blood flowed out from Granny Mappa's shriveled fingers, but her blood was thicker and darker, and then a thin thread flowed out from Granny Mappa's fingers. Something like a thread came out of Su Wei's cut finger. These two thread-like things came out from the bodies of Granny Ma and Su Wei, and then became entangled together, gradually fused, and gradually turned into a silk thread that was thicker than before. In fact, it is not a silk thread. If you look at it under a microscope, this thin silk thread has some thin tentacles on it. Su Wei was stunned and wondered why the master did this. Just when this thick silk thread was about to enter Granny Ma's body, Granny Ma stopped it and used secret techniques to let it enter Su Wei's body. Su Wei felt disgusted, but at the same time she also felt the benefits of this disgusting thing. After traveling through mountains and rivers for the past few days, Su Wei was not tired at all. This was something that was absolutely impossible before, so she understood that the change came from the goo worms given to her by Granny Mappa. Slowly, finally they all went in. Su Wei felt that her body was a little swollen and numb, but at the same time she felt very comfortable. Granny Ma kept teaching Su Wei how to practice and how to save her life, until dawn, when she finally couldn't stand it anymore, and Granny Ma lay softly on the ground. Wei, please leave quickly, Granny Ma said, I feel that person is coming and is approaching here. Please leave quickly. Granny Mappa could feel the restriction on her body getting stronger and stronger. That person must be getting closer and closer to here. Su Wei saw Granny Ma, who was so thin that she was just skin and bones, and said, Master, I'll carry you on my back, I can't leave you here. Hurry up, my life goo has been passed on to you, and I can't survive anymore. If you take me with you, it will only hurt you, Granny Ma said. If no one is following me, I might still be able to continue teaching you, but it can't be done now. All the things from our sect are in that package. You can read and practice by yourself from now on. Promise me not to use these to hurt innocent people. Su Wei nodded and said, Master, I will not hurt innocent people, no master, master. Granny Ma was a little dizzy. It took her a while to open her eyes and said, Wei, let's go. If you stay, you will die just like me. I am already very grateful to you for passing on the things of our master. If you stay, I will die. Zir, think about your mother, she is still in Xiangjiang. Su Wei was stunned. Yes, she still wants mommy. If caught, who will mom rely on in the future? Okay, let's go, Granny Ma's eyes were a little distracted and her energy was low. Su Wei knelt in front of Granny Ma, kowtowed 3 times, and said, Master, my disciple is unfilial, my disciple is unfilial. Don't cry, I'm very satisfied to die in such a beautiful place. Granny Ma said, closing her eyes. Su Wei got up, cleaned the cave, put clean clothes on Granny Ma, and placed them on a clean big stone. The master was not dead yet, and Su Wei couldn't bury the master, so she went to get some food herself, prepared it and placed it on the big leaves next to the master. Last night, Su Wei carried the package and knelt down to Granny Ma. After kowtowing, she said, "Master, my disciple is unfilial." After Su Wei left, Granny Ma opened her eyes. As long as she left, she would have no worries. She could just wait quietly for that person to come over. She wanted to see who that person was. The Sweetness of the 70s. Author, Chi Sing Cao. Chapter 1119. 1117. Although Su Wei was reluctant to leave her master, she also knew that if she stayed, there would be no hope. She is still young and does not want to die. She has not taken revenge yet, and she still has her mother, so she cannot die. Go quickly, find a place to hide, practice well, and then come out to take revenge. She will cherish the things her master gives her until she can protect herself and her family before she comes out. Master, I'm sorry. Mommy, wait for me, I will go back in glory. As Su Wei hurried on her way, she thought about her past life of feasting in Xiangjiang. Sometimes, she felt a little regretful in her heart. If she didn't want to take revenge or learn these secret skills, maybe she would still be the singer or movie star who was about to become famous. However, Su Wei quickly denied it. Even if he becomes popular, so what, he is not a plaything of the gangsters or the rich. She needs to learn the skills to make those people her playthings. With such a dream, Su Wei shuttled through the dense forest, escaping and hiding. Let's say that Huo Yingji followed the positioning and came to the southwest border. It was indeed the favorite environment of the head-dropping divisions. Before Huo Yingji came to the cave, he sensed that someone was inside. "Come out." Huo Yingji changed his face and said to the cave. Granny Ma closed her eyes and rested, holding on for a breath, waiting for Huo Yingji's arrival. When she heard the sound, she opened her eyes slightly. "What is supposed to come, will come eventually," Granny Ma said, picking up a makeshift wooden crutch beside her, and walked out tremblingly. Huo Yingji was stunned for a moment, then used his spiritual sense to sense and found that Granny Ma was the only one in the cave. "Where is Su Wei?" Huo Yingji asked directly, feeling bad in his heart. Why weren't there any restrictions on Su Wei in the first place? Su Wei ran away, leaving only an old woman behind. Even if the old woman died, so what? "I let her go," said Granny Map. "How did you set up this mysterious restriction on me?" She was dead anyway, and Granny Map wanted to know what happened. "Do you think I will tell you?" Huo Yingji sneered. "Zhongai Yuan's magic skills are profound, and I tell you, you don't know either." Huo Yingji was very angry when Su Wei could not be found. Granny Mappa nodded and said with emotion, "I finally know why I escaped from Thailand and why my senior brother didn't dare to chase me. It's because the Zhongyuan magic is too powerful." He also said that he had an agreement with Zhongyuan and couldn't come over. Actually, Su Wei is just the illegitimate daughter of the Zhou family, and the Zhou family doesn't pay much attention to it. Huo Yingji said, "We found out the relationship between Su Wei and the Zhou family before, but our Huo family is not that kind of aggressive person. If Su Wei she and her mother have been living in Xiangjiang, and the Huo family will not touch them. But people's hearts are like this, and they are never satisfied. In her heart, the Huo family is the culprit who killed her father and the Zhou family." Granny Ma said, "Su Kenyun is too infatuated. She keeps saying in front of her daughter that the man from the Zhou family is good and the Zhou family is good. That's why Su Wei is like this. You should never teach her those things," Huo Yingji said. Although he couldn't find the woman, since he came back for revenge, he would wait. Granny Mappa smiled bitterly and said, "She wants to learn, actually she is a poor child." Granny Ma's breath was a little rough, as if she couldn't breathe, and then she took out a small bottle from her arms and said, "You are a gentleman. If Su Wei has not done anything harmful to God, please give her a way to live." She is just a poor child. If she disobeys the teacher's orders, uses what I gave her to do evil, and cares about human life, then use this bottle to understand her life. At the end, Granny Ma still wanted to plead for Su Weiwei. In the face of absolute strength, compromise. Furthermore, she was also afraid that without her guidance, Su Weiwei would go astray and commit murder, just like her senior brother. Huo Yingji squinted his eyes and said, "Why did you do that? In fact, I can subdue that Su Weiwei without you." Granny Map smiled bitterly and said, "This is our master's secret medicine. Only this can kill the natal goo in Su Weiwei's body. Even if you can kill her, you can't kill the goo, it will automatically find a host. Sucking the blood out of people, looking for the next one. Without this medicine, it can't kill the bugs, it can't be killed by fire, it can't be killed by water, and neither can those so-called chemical reagents." After hearing this, Huo Yingji realized that those goo insects were so overbearing. "I hope you won't lie to me," Huo Yingji said. People's hearts are unpredictable, and he couldn't believe it all. Granny Map was helpless and said, "I am a dying person, but I can also speak well. Maybe in your eyes, I am crooked, but I have never killed a good person in my life. If I didn't have this temper, I wouldn't be. My senior brother disliked me and even took my position." Huo Yingji squinted his eyes and saw that the old woman was right. If a person is a murderous person, then her aura is red. This old woman is clean, which shows that she is not a treacherous person. It's true that you have never killed an innocent person. As far as I know, it's not easy to do what you do in your line of work, so I believe you once. Huo Yingji said, "If Su Weiwei didn't disregard human life, I would leave her alive and let her be with her mother, but if she wants to take someone else's life seriously, I can see that, and I will try my best when the time comes." Seeing what Huo Yingji said, Granny Ma took out a bag from her arms that didn't look like cloth or skin, and said, "After catching Su Weiwei, cut her right index finger, and used the blood as a guide. The goo insect was gone. It will come out, you can put it in this bag, and then pour in the powder to kill it completely." Originally, Granny Mappa planned to use this medicinal powder for herself. If there is no one to inherit it, then let this secret skill disappear. But Su Weiwei was willing to learn, which made Granny Ma feel moved, but at the same time she was also worried, so she chose to do this. Granny Ma was gambling on Su Weiwei's character. Huo Yingji took it, checked it, put the bottle and the bag together, and said, "You can take care of yourself." Granny Mappa smiled and said, "Thank you." Huo Yingji disappeared on the spot, which surprised Granny Ma even more. However, Granny Mappa had exhausted all her energy. After the surprise, she walked to the cave, lay down on the big rock, closed her eyes, and was completely out of breath. Granny Mappa is dead. Huo Yingji actually didn't leave, he just hid. Feeling that Granny Mappa was losing all her vitality, he set up a barrier to prevent those snakes, insects, and plague from entering and harming Granny Mappa's body. If what Granny Ma said was true, Huo Yingji would come to bury her in person. Not for anything else, just because this old man is a principled person and deserves respect. The Sweetness of the 70s. Author, Chi Sing Cao. Chapter 1120. 1118. With the barrier in place, Mapapo's cave entrance disappeared directly and turned into an ordinary mountain, with shrubs, grass, and small wildflowers growing on the sides. Huo Yingji left here and searched nearby, but couldn't find any trace of Su Weiwei, so he had no choice but to return home. Huo Yingji felt bitter in his heart. After all, it was still not perfect. Is this the way of heaven? However, this would be good, as it would keep Huo Yingji on alert, always alert to dangers from the outside world. Huo Yingji returned from the southwest border. This time, things have reached a stage for the time being. He Tiantian returned to Yanjing, busy distributing gifts, visiting relatives and friends, and spent the past few days happily. Late at night, when Huo Yingja came back, he saw his clone Huo Yingja reading a book. Huo Yingja walked directly into the clone's body and automatically obtained the memory of this period. The work was carried out according to the original plan and was not affected. As for Yanjing, there were no major moves. Everything is so peaceful. He Tian finished washing. As soon as he entered the room, he saw Huo Yingja taking off his clothes and getting ready to take a shower. Haha, that clone Huo Yingja never takes off his clothes at night. Back he Tian said, did it go well? It went smoothly, Huo Yingja said, it's just that Su Weiwei ran away and Meipo died. That Meipo. Huo Yingja told He Tian what happened. He Tian was very surprised after hearing this and said, oh my god, a head-down master, then maybe Su Weiwei will become a head-down master in the future. Yes, Huo Yingja said, but don't worry, you and the child have my bloodline and will not be invaded. He Tian nodded and said, that's good, thank you for your hard work. It's not hard, Huo Yingja said, you are my wife, so of course I have to protect you from the wind and rain. Okay, you can take a shower, He Tian said, I'll wait for you. When she said the last 4 words, I'm waiting for you, her voice was gentle, her eyes were as charming as silk, and she was full of tenderness. Huo Yingja knew the elegant meaning and went to wash up in a hurry. He Tian changed into silk pajamas, which she bought in Xiangjiang. The style is very, very tempting. Now that we are an old couple, we naturally want to have some fun. Only in this way can life be enjoyable. Huo Yingja took a combat bath and came out of the bathroom wearing only pajamas. As he walked, he wiped his hair with the towel. When he came to the bed, he threw away the towel in his hand, threw himself on the seductive woman, and did whatever he wanted. A little farewell is better than a new love, a night of pleasure. The man is strong, the woman is charming, and she is as young as a wolf and a tiger. She is even more uninhibited at night. Huo Yingja woke up feeling refreshed in the morning. When he went to the bathroom to wash up, he saw in the mirror that his hair was up in ecstasy, which showed how crazy he was last night. Whistling while taking a shower. As for the wife on the bed, she is tired at night, so let's continue sleeping. During breakfast, the 3 children saw their father but not their mother. They were used to this scene. Dad, are you and Mom going to the parent-teacher meeting tomorrow? Huo Ruimin asked. Aunt Xiao Yan went to the previous parent-teacher meeting because her parents were busy. At that time, many people asked Aunt Xiao Yan for autographs. Later, many children especially liked playing with her. Mom is so good at swimming, she should be more popular, and the kids will like her even more. Huo Ruimin was a little proud. Huo Yingja put down the chopsticks in his hand, wiped his mouth, and said, Mom and Dad will be there. He already felt guilty about his daughter for not going before, and he would go every time in the future. That's great, Huo Ruimin smiled, I love Daddy the most. Because Huo Ruimin and Huo Ruwa are in the same class, there is no need to separate. The couple can go directly to the parent-teacher conferences of their eldest daughter and son. Thinking about the eldest daughter, the eldest son has a parent-teacher conference, but what about the younger son's parent-teacher conference? Rufeng, when will your parent-teacher meeting be held? Huo Yingja asked, not only caring about the older ones but not the younger ones. Huo Rufeng's eyes flickered. He thought for a moment and said, Dad, our teacher said we won't hold parent-teacher conferences anymore. They will be held at the end of the semester. Huo Ruimin snickered, but they didn't expose his brother's lies. Anyway, his parents would know that his brother was lying. It must be because his grades are not good, or he is being naughty in school, and he doesn't want his parents to go, lest the teacher complains. Huo Yingja was stunned, looked at Huo Rufeng seriously, and said, really? Huo Rufeng was stupid and bold, and said with a pinched neck, "Yes. My brother said that if you confess, you will be given leniency and you will go to jail. If you resist, you will be given strict punishment, up to half a year. Since you lied, then grit your teeth and refuse to admit it." Huo Yingzhe did not continue talking, but ate seriously, then sent his 3 children to school, and then went to work. Recently, in order to avoid accidents, the progress of the research institute has been a bit slow, but it is still within the specified time. Huo Yingzhe came in person, so he naturally had to speed up and not waste time. The national team's technological needs are now more urgent than ever, and they will become even more urgent in the future. Countless people are silently contributing to the rejuvenation of China. If Huo Yingzhe thinks he is capable, then he should work harder. When we arrived at the institute, it was another busy morning, and everyone felt that the boss was more urgent than before. In the research institute, the salary is good, the benefits are high, and I am willing to work hard with the boss. At noon, Zhou Yuanchao and Huo Yingzhe were eating in the cafeteria. "Boss, our house has been built, and everyone has been ready to move in recently. Now that we have weekends off or after get off work, our favorite place in the institute is the new family compound of our institute," Zhou Yuanchao said. "Now that everything has been done okay, let's split it up as soon as possible. It's time to renovate and move to a new home during the Chinese New Year. Nowadays, housing is extremely tight. Some families have several members living in a room of 30 to 40 square meters. It is inconvenient for adults to do something, and their lives are miserable." After hearing this, Huo Yingzhe smiled and said, "Okay, we have already allocated houses based on qualifications, achievements, and family circumstances. During the weekend, we will give out the keys and let them move as soon as possible." Huo Yingzhe didn't have those vain thoughts, but enemy Zhou did. "Boss, you can't do this. It's such an exciting moment to be assigned a big house. How can you directly give the key to the family?" Zhou Yuanchao said. "We must hold a workers' meeting and you can hand out the key in person. For everyone. It doesn't have to be so troublesome, right?" Huo Yingzhe hesitated. "Isn't it just a house?" Zhou Yuanchao saw the boss's expression of not knowing how expensive firewood, rice, oil, and salt were. He shook his head and said, "Boss, you don't know how nice our house is. When we established this research institute, many people were not optimistic about it. Most of the people who came here voluntarily were in their previous units. The work was not satisfactory. Now through their efforts, our institute has achieved such great development and progress, and of course, most of it is due to the boss. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Sweetness of the 70s. Author, Chi Sing Cao. Chapter 1121. 1119. Zhou Yuanchao did not forget to flatter Huo Yingzhe. "It's all colleagues working together," Huo Yingzhe said modestly, not being arrogant. "I won't say who deserves the credit, but this is our institute now." Zhou Yuanchao gave a thumbs up. "Everyone is waiting to feel proud. Let's take care of it well and let everyone feel the care of our institute. We will work harder in the future." Proud of the institute. It sounded quite similar. Huo Yingzhe nodded and said, "Okay, let the logistics department do this. Since it's going to be done, let's do it better." "Well, don't worry, the place must be properly purchased," Zhou Yuanchao said. "The boss does not pay attention to these things. He would like to remind you that you cannot just focus on research and ignore the feelings of the people below." This matter was left to Zhou Yuanchao, and Huo Yingzhe didn't take it to heart. He would just attend the meeting when the time came. Working time is very precious to Huo Yingzhe. He works against time just to avoid working overtime after get off work. Zhou Yuanchao also came back to work, and he actually found Chi Jinmin and asked her to sing a few songs that day. Chi Jinmin looked at the time and saw that he had nothing to do that day, so he agreed. Let's say that he Tian was at home. After waking up, it was already 10 o'clock. After washing up and tidying up some rooms, it was lunchtime. Huo Yingji took leave in the afternoon because he had to attend his child's parent-teacher meeting. Why are you back? He Tian was a little surprised and served Huo Yingji some rice. Parent-teacher meeting. Huo Yingji said, if you have nothing to do this afternoon, come with me. Okay, he Tian nodded. As long as she had time, she would try her best to spend time with her child. By the way, how is the child doing lately? Ruwa and Ruimin are in the same class, and they are older, so there is nothing to worry about. Even the third son has a parent-teacher meeting today, but he told me yesterday that the teacher does not hold parent-teacher meetings. I went to ask the teacher, and the teacher let's talk, Huo Yingji said in a calm tone, not thinking that his son's lying was a big deal. Little kid, who hasn't told a lie yet? Just know why he lied and guide him. He Tian frowned and said, why did the mistress lie? Did he get into a fight? Did he get bad grades? Maybe both. Huo Yingji nodded, but even if it was a fight, it shouldn't be a big deal, otherwise the teacher would have called the parents. He Tian was a little helpless and said, if there is really a fight, then we, the mistresses, should take care of it. Let's check out the situation first, Huo Yingji said, not directly denying his son. He would only make a judgment after knowing all the circumstances. Well, today we are going to have a parent-teacher meeting, he Tian said, I'm going to have a parent-teacher meeting for my third son. You go to Ruwa and Ruimin. Seeing that he Tian was a little excited, Huo Yingji said, it's better for me to attend my third son's parent-teacher meeting. He usually practices martial arts with me, and he's a boy. It's more appropriate for me to go. Okay, he Tian nodded, the mistress will act cheating in front of me, so she will listen to you more. The couple dressed carefully and went to the parent-teacher conference solemnly. Huo Ruimin was very happy to see her mother coming. Mom, it's great that you're here, Huo Ruimin said, it's better not to let Dad come over, so as to save those ants from talking to Dad all the time and staring at Dad with their eyes, which makes Dad very embarrassed every time. Dad belongs to Mom. The surrounding parents were also very excited to see He Tian, and they didn't care about it. They pulled He Tian to talk and laugh together. He also asked He Tian for an autographed photo, and He Tian readily agreed, saying that he would send his child to school next Monday and ask him to bring him to school. Huo Ruwa and Huo Ruimin are gregarious in the class, have many friends, have good grades, and the teacher always praises them. He Tian was very happy, smiling from ear to ear, and temporarily forgot that she had a problem with her little son. Let's say that when Huo Yingji arrived at the door of his youngest son's class, he heard his son talking to the teacher. Huo Rufeng, are your parents not here? Teacher Hua asked in a very gentle tone. Huo Rufeng put on a pitiful expression and said, Teacher, my parents are very busy and they can't come. This brat lies on both sides. Let's do this. After get off work today, I will go home with you and conduct a home visit, Teacher Hua said softly. Some parents are very busy, so there is nothing they can do. They can only take time off from get off work to visit the students' homes. Communicate with parents about their children's recent situation. This Huo Rufeng is a very smart kid, but he is too naughty. Just playing football, he actually likes to play it against the classroom window. Fortunately, there was no one in the classroom. If there were students, they would be injured if the glass fell on them. Home visit. If the teacher goes to the house, won't he have to help? Not just breaking windows at school, but also lying. Huo Rufeng's head was sweating. Hey, if I had known this, I wouldn't have made a bet with anyone. So what if you hit that piece of glass, so what if you win? He lost 5 yuan for the glass, and the teacher had to tell his parents about it. My parents are on a business trip. Huo Rufeng made an excuse and said that the teacher could not be allowed to visit home and meet his parents. After hearing this, teacher Hua was already sure that Huo Rufeng was lying. Are you worried that the teacher will tell you that you broke the school glass by kicking it in school? Teacher Hua squatted down and asked softly. Huo Rufeng's face was a little red. Seeing that the teacher had guessed correctly, he nodded and said, "Yes, teacher, I will never kick broken glass again. Don't tell my parents, okay?" He is already naughty enough in the eyes of his parents. If the teacher complains again, they will probably beat him. Then you lied when you said your parents didn't have time to come to the parent-teacher conference, teacher Hua asked, not angry, but talking to Huo Rufeng calmly. Well, I said our class doesn't have parent-teacher conferences. They went to my sister and brother's parent-teacher conferences. Huo Rufeng's voice was very low. Teacher, I know I was wrong. Teacher Hua nodded and said, teacher believes what Rufeng says. Don't worry, Rufeng. The teacher won't tell your parents, but you have to promise the teacher that it's okay to play during recess, but don't do dangerous things. Think about it, if the students in that class did not go to physical education class, and the glass splashed into the eyes of the students, they would lose sight and become blind, which would harm others. There were people inside, and he didn't dare to kick the ball against the window. But the teacher is right, you can't do such stupid things in the future. If you want to play football, you can go to the playground. Yes, teacher Hua, I remember it. Huo Rufeng nodded, very grateful to the teacher. Huo Yingjia originally wanted to go in, but he was worried that his younger son already knew his mistake, and he wanted to give him some face, so he turned around and left. Other parents were still surprised. Why did they come back and then go back? The Sweetness of the 70s. Author, Chi Sing Cao. Chapter 1122. 1120. Huo Rufeng didn't even know about teacher Hua inside. He Tian was at the parent-teacher meeting. When she saw Huo Yingjia coming, she was a little curious and asked softly, why are you here? Huo Yingjia smiled and said, we'll talk about it when we get back. He Tian didn't ask any more. After all, there was still a parent-teacher meeting, so it was not easy for them to whisper to each other down there. After the parent-teacher meeting, He Tian and Huo Yingjia happened to take their children to pick up Huo Rufeng. Huo Rufeng was carrying a small school bag, lowering his head and kicking pebbles on the ground. Seeing Mom and Dad coming, her little face lit up. Mom and Dad, I'm here. Huo Rufeng waved his little hand, took his parents' hands, and left the school together. When they got to the car, Huo Rufeng saw that his brother and sister were so happy. He was very worried and felt that it was wrong to lie to his parents all the time, so he decided to confess to his parents, or he would be beaten. Dad, Mom, I made a mistake. Huo Rufeng whispered, looking at his parents carefully. He Tian was surprised. Although she was very curious, she still said gently, what mistake did you make? Huo Rufeng winced and said, I did 2 things wrong. Hearing what his son said, Huo Yingjia felt relieved and asked softly, you are a good boy who has the courage to admit mistakes. Tell me, what mistakes did you make and have you corrected them? Seeing that his father praised him but did not scold him, Huo Rufeng said boldly, first, I lied. In fact, we had a parent-teacher meeting today, but I said it was not held. I lied to the teacher and said that you were very busy and could not attend the parent-teacher meeting. Secondly, the reason why I don't want you to go to the parent-teacher conference is because I'm afraid that the teacher will tell you that I played football in school and broke the classroom window. Huo Rufeng's voice became smaller and smaller. That's all, is there anything else? Huo Yingjia asked, trying to see if his son could fully confess. Huo Rufeng is a bachelor, so he has already said everything, so let's just say it all. He Tian listened silently and could not be interrupted. I shouldn't bet with others that I am very good at playing football and can hit the glass designated by rhubarb, Huo Rufeng said. That was a classroom, and the glass is public property. I was wrong. Yeah, Huo Yingzhi nodded. Do you know you were wrong? I know I was wrong. Huo Rufeng lowered his head and whispered, I will never do such a dangerous thing again. Huo Yingzhi nodded and said, okay, Mom and Dad believe in you. You are a man and you must keep your word. You must not make such a mistake again in the future. He Tian originally wanted to say a few words, but Huo Yingzhi gave her a wink and stopped her from speaking. He Tian could only stare. Okay, no more. Huo Ruwa and Huo Ruiman behind were also a little surprised, but they wanted to laugh but didn't dare. Since you like football, my brother will go home and play with you, Huo Ruwa said with a smile. Let your parents see how good the mistress is. Is it really possible? Huo Rufeng's eyes showed hope. He originally thought he would be beaten, but he didn't expect that his parents not only didn't beat him, but his brother also played football with him. Well, yes, be brave enough to admit your mistakes and never make such mistakes in the future. My mistress is a man, and so is my brother, Huo Yingzhi said. Dad, I will reward you with a football. I used to think that my child was too small and I was worried about throwing him, so I never bought a football. Dad, you are so kind, Huo Rufeng said, a little excited. Ahem. He Tian coughed twice to refresh his sense of presence. Hey, it's okay, Mom Jr. Huo Rufeng quickly added. He Tian then asked, Little Sanzi, do you like playing football? I like it, I really like it. De Wang has a football, and we all want to play with him, Huo Rufeng said quickly. My birthday is coming soon, can my birthday gift be a football? A real ball, not a football like a children's toy. He Tian was a little surprised and said, Don't your feet hurt when you play football? It doesn't hurt. I have shoes on my feet, Huo Rufeng said. Mom, is that okay? He Tian nodded and said, okay, I'll give you a football. Huo Yingzhi didn't object. Huo Rufeng liked sports, practiced martial arts, running and jumping since he was a child, and was more lively than his brothers and sisters. That's great, Huo Rufeng said. As expected, he was honest and corrected his mistakes when he knew they were wrong. There are great benefits. After returning home, Huo Rufeng ran to his room, took out a toy football, and played football with his brother in the yard. He Tian asked in a low voice, You didn't go to the parent-teacher meeting, do you know about this? Huo Yingzhi nodded and said, Well, I heard the mistress and the teacher lying outside. Later, the teacher exposed his lies. However, the teacher Hua was very good at educating him. He said that as long as the mistress knew his mistakes and corrected them, he would keep the mistress secret. I didn't tell my parents. Since the teacher agreed, I didn't go ahead. He Tian suddenly realized, nodded, and said, instead of asking parents to give advice, the teacher's teaching is very important. At the same time, the most important thing is to let the children truly realize their mistakes. Yeah, I didn't expect the mistress to admit our mistake so quickly, Huo Yingzhi said. As a reward, let's buy him a football. Is it true that it won't be hurt? He Tian was still a little worried. After all, the child was too young. Look, Huo Yingzhi pointed to his eldest son outside. The younger son was practicing ball, and his eldest daughter was helping to pick up the ball. Because of Huo Xiaosan's incident, the elder brother and sister are playing with his younger brother. He Tian saw Huo Ruwa draw several circles on the wall with chalk, and then Huo Xiaosan, holding a toy football, could hit the circle every time, sometimes the circle designated by Huo Ruwa. Oh my gosh, you can hit wherever you point, He Tian said in surprise. It seems like he is still left-handed. As soon as He Tian finished speaking, Huo Xiaosan kicked him with his right foot and was able to hit it. Oh my god, I didn't expect that the younger one has the talent to play football, He Tian said. Should we hire a professional coach to teach the child? Hearing He Tian's words, Huo Yingzhe was a little dumbfounded and said, the child is still young, let him do what he likes, wait until he is older. Maybe he won't like football after a while. Well, that's true. After all, playing football is too tiring, He Tian nodded. Let's talk about it later. I'll buy him a football as a birthday gift. Let's go pick it up together on the weekend, Huo Yingzhe said. By the way, you should also pay more attention to the shoes to protect your feet. Well, that's right, He Tian nodded. I will ask some football coaches through the head coach to ask some common sense or precautions, so that I know what to do. Huo Yingzhe was convinced. For the sake of their children, the couple spends a lot of time cultivating them. Thank you readers for the tip, thank you very much. The dog days of summer are here, everyone should be careful when traveling. If you travel, be sure to carry water with you. Drink more water when it is hot, which is good for your health.